Hi and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another deep dive. Also, major spoilers for the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series and the Heroes of Olympus series. Clarrise la Rue is often seen as a bully or unlikable, and not many people like her character, but there's more to her story. So that's why today we're going to be diving into the misunderstood character of Clarrise la Rue. At the start of the first book, The Lightning Thief, our first impressions of Clarisse aren't particularly good. She was introduced as an intimidating and daunting bully, and not a lot of the characters liked her. She seems to feed off people's fear and dislike of her. On the surface, she looks like your typical antagonist. She bullies people, she makes fun of people smaller than her, but that isn't just what Clarisse is. She can be caring at times, but to see her soft side, you have to tear down her many, many walls she has built around her feelings and her relationships. Because she's a daughter of Ares, she had the extra pressure to be the strongest, to be the bravest, the most brutal. It didn't help that her father doesn't really respect his daughters, and all of this combined only fueled her angers towards the world and her father. Even though she hated him and never wanted to inherit his anger, she still felt the need to prove herself to a dad that could never be proud of her. I think that she hates not feeling good enough, and instead of working on that and becoming a better person, she pushes down her insecurities and masks all of it with her cold, harsh exterior. She projects her problems onto other people. She's really the definition of a complex and flawed character. But then she meets Percy Jackson. She just sees him as this random kid who killed a monster, then immediately got his dad's attention and was claimed. They constantly clashed and argued. She was jealous and bitter that it seemed like his dad actually noticed him, whereas her dad barely acknowledged her existence. And when he did, it was full of distaste and pity. A couple years later, when the war against Kronos was in full swing, Clarisse initially refused to fight, feeling bitter and overlooked. Her pride and stubbornness took over her conscience and it affected the battle. She was needed, but she couldn't admit that she was being prideful and unwilling to cooperate. Going back about a year or so, Clarisse started to become friends with the daughter of Aphrodite, Selena Beauregard. They started to grow closer, and it seemed like Selena was the only one who could break down Clarisse's walls that she had built around her vulnerability. Selena also showed Clarisse that it was okay to let her guard down and let loose a bit. But during the Battle of Manhattan, Selena sacrificed herself while pretending to be Clarisse so that she could bring all the Ares cabin to battle to help the demigods. Seeing this, Clarisse was sent into a blinding rage, killing the dragon, without armour as well. Finally, her father noticed her power and strength and gave her the blessing of Ares. This closely parallels Achilles and Patroclus' relationship in the Iliad, with Achilles refusing to fight in the war because of his pride, whereas Patroclus, I can't say his name, I'm so sorry, fighting and dying. Then Achilles going on a blind rampage. I know that most people, including me, think that Achilles and Patroclus, I can't say his name, I'm literally so sorry, were lovers, and canonically, Clarisse and Selena were not lovers. Well, personally, I don't ship it, but I can definitely see why some people might. So Clarisse wasn't just a threatening bully or a menacing schemer. She was a product of pressure and expectations to be perfect, to be brave, to prove her father that she is good enough. At the end of our story, she finally blossoms into a true hero, finally breaking out of the stereotype of just being the bully. That's why I think that Clarisse la Rue wasn't the villain. She was just somebody trying to prove that she was strong enough in a world full of people already telling her who she is and who she will always be. Another video done. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And I was thinking of doing Selena Beauregard next. Tell me if I'm pronouncing her name right. I like her last name. I don't know if I am. Tell me. Tell me. And tell me if you want that in the comments. And tell me, was Clarisse la Rue a bad person or was she a person who did bad things? Have a great day. See you later, chat boxers.